Hello guys, welcome to your improvisation class today where you are going to be the teacher. You are going to be the teacher. So let's talk about improvisation. We've done a couple of classes now. We know what it's all about. But let me ask you this. Is there any wrong or right way to improvise? Well, not really. If I asked you to draw a cat and you drew a cat on a piece of paper, it wouldn't really be right for me to say, that's wrong, the way you've drawn that cat is wrong, would it? That wouldn't really be very nice of you, and you might say, well, that's just the way that I wanted to draw that cat. I wanted to make it that particular colour, I wanted to make it that particular shape. But that's not to say we can't get better at drawing cats. That's not to say that we can't learn about light and shade, that we can't learn about colour, and we can't get much better at drawing cats or whatever it might be. And it's exactly the same in improvisation. We can get better, we can learn how to explore more things like adding different notes, adding different dynamics, adding different approaches to the way that we improvise. So the way that we're going to explore this today is you are going to be the teacher, and what you will need for this lesson is a piece of paper. A nice notebook here and a pen. I've got the nice TWSBI Eco here with a lovely little sky blue ink. You'll need those two things. You won't actually need your instrument today. And you are going to hear 3 improvisations from 3 different students. And I would like you to tell me, what do you like about these improvisations? What's good about these improvisations? And I'd like you to tell me what isn't so good. What could be improved? What could be made better? Here's the first improvisation. So what did you think, teachers? What did you write down on your piece of paper? I mean, the first thing is, all 3 of our pupils played something, didn't they? And they played it confidently, and they played it in the right place just after the question, and so they were all great. But I think there's one of those 3 that was the standout for me. That was the best. So what did you think? What did you write down? And what can we learn about what you wrote down? Well, I think that the first pupil, Sebastian Badcrumble, now, he was great. He played really in tune, hopefully, and he played just after the question. But did you listen to the way that his answer didn't really fit with the rhythm? Dong, dee, ding, da, ding, dong, da, ding, dee, dong, do, do. There's my beat. And if my improvisation fits with the beat, da da do da do da da da, it's going to sound great. If it doesn't fit with the beat, like that, it's going to sound disconnected, and it doesn't really sound like part of the same piece of music, part of the same conversation. So that's the first thing that we can learn. Whatever we play, it's got to fit with the groove. Some people call it the groove, and what that really means is that it's got to fit with the underlying pulse of the music, like the heartbeat of the music. If it fits with the groove, if it fits with the pulse, it's going to sound good. And it doesn't even really matter what you play. So long as it fits with the groove, it's going to sound great. So that's the first thing. What about the second pupil? What did you write down for the second pupil, who was called, of course, Cecil Peasbottom? What did you write down about Cecil Peasbottom playing? Well, again, you know, he played in the right place, didn't he? He played in the question part. He played really in tune, and he used all the right notes. But for me, Cecil's playing, and you might have written this down as well, he just played a lot of notes without any space. And have you ever been in a conversation with someone that doesn't really listen to what you say, and they just keep talking over you, and you're really excited about the thing that they want to talk about, and after a while it's like really exhausting being in a conversation like that, isn't it? You think, oh, they're not really listening to what I'm saying, and they're just talking all the time. And that's the same with improvisation. We've got to leave a bit of space. We've got to leave some rests. We've got to leave some silence. That really helps. And we've got to think about the material of the question. Now listen to the notes of the question. La dee dee da dee, la da dee dee da da do do. I might want to use some of the rhythm and some of the notes of the question in my answer, and that makes it sound really sort of logical. It kind of makes it make sense. It sounds very musical. So if I asked you, what's the weather today like, you might say, well, the weather today is. Do you see what I mean? And you're using a bit of the question in your answer, the words of the question, the grammar of the question. And it's the same in improvisation. We can link those two things together. What did you have for the third pupil? And hopefully, like me, you thought the third pupil, Damian Goodchild, was perhaps the best of the improvisers. So he was in time. He used some of the information from the question, and he left a bit of space as well. So there's some things to think about in your improvisations. There's no wrong or right answer, but we can keep getting better and learning new things about improvisation every single day. And we can learn the things about improvisation from the music that we play, from the music that we play that's written down. We can understand what makes that music work and use it in our own music making. That's really interesting. I'll see you next week for more improvisation.